question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Wednesday night. We are rolling on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter/X, on Facebook, and on Twitch. It is episode 127 of the Throwdown, and today we are throwing down with Philadelphia-based pro wrestler, most efficient, Houdini. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Man, I've been looking forward to this. We're going to have some fun. So,
For sure.
So for those of you that are watching this live, if you have any questions or comments, just throw them in the chat and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
I have been wrestling for almost 2 years now. In September, that's when I graduated first.
Nice, nice. And I know the answer to this, but I'll ask you anyway. Who trained you?
I was trained by Catchpoint Philadelphia, by Drew Gulak, Tracy Williams, Wheeler Yuta, and other names like Vita Von Starr, Nate Wallace of the Rep, and Kurt Robinson.
You know, that's that school. You are really blessed to have an incredible cadre of instructors there. I mean, to learn, to be under the learning tree of people like Gulak, Yuta, Williams. I mean, you really couldn't ask for a better environment to hone your craft in.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, you know, I am a huge Wheeler Yuta fan, especially. That guy can go. And I feel like he's being somewhat underutilized in AEW these days. But man, you know, underrated is the word for Wheeler Yuta.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it, man.
I mean, I'm tired of seeing him be Moxley's lackey. I mean, you know. So.
Me too.
Yeah, but what can you do, man?
Yeah.
So.
You just gotta sit and see what happens.
So, in terms of the early stages of your wrestling training, what would you say was the most difficult aspect of pro wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
I'd say that was more or less actually enveloping myself in my character, especially first starting out. I barely had one. Tried to make certain things work, like I was the Phoenix for like 2 seconds, and that failed miserably. But being able to push it through in my promos, let it be seen in the ring, those were things that challenged me in the very beginning.
Gotcha. So as far as the Phoenix gimmick went, were you setting yourself on fire, or was it like a Najee Richardson Ninja Warrior type of thing? Because I know he's a Philadelphia guy.
It's just overly resilient. You can't keep the guy
Gotcha.
down and all that, and then you find out. Well, then you realize how many Phoenixes there are in this business. So it's just
Yep. Yeah, there's a
it wasn't gonna
there's a
last
flock
long.
of phoenixes. So speed round. Charlotte Flair.
Okay. Woo.
Yeah. That's about all that can be said. So, you know, I'm presuming that you know, because most of the folks I've talked to on here I'm presuming that you've been at least a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate?
A majority, you can say yes.
Okay.
Well, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, what would you say is your earliest wrestling-related memory?
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to do this since I was 8. I'm the person, I don't remember the match that did it. In all honesty, it was the action figures that drew
Nothing
me
wrong
in.
with that.
But my first, yeah, exactly. But my first full-on memory of wrestling, I remember begging my parents to go to SmackDown because they were finally in town. They did it. They took me out of school for it. And there were great names like the Brothers of Destruction, Batista, Rey Mysterio. But the one thing I remember from that show, and it kind of hurts because I just now realized, and especially with everything going on with them right now, I remember a CM Punk promo where he had this trash can out. He was dumping the liquor in there, tossing the cigarettes, pouring the pills. All I remember is R-Truth coming out, stopping him, pouring the trash can on top of him. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's cool. And it's crazy because I haven't had him or thought of him as like one of those influential people in my journey. Mm-hmm. But with everything going on with him, it's starting to click again.
Right.
Why I liked him.
Right. You know,
but yeah, shout out.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, that's actually an interesting segue, because I was going to ask, what is your take on the R-Truth situation? Is the whole thing a work, or do you think he legitimately got released and the fan voice basically kind of forced them to bring him back, or was this the plan the whole time? What does your gut say?
My gut is saying that it was legit.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't appreciate how popular he was.
That's my take too. I don't know if we're ever going to know the complete story of the whole thing, but yeah, you know, it's an interesting thing to speculate on.
Mm-hmm. Especially after the biggest match of his career. Man.
Yeah. But I like the fact that he's back as Ron Killings and not as R-Truth. You know, cutting the dreads off and everything. That was kind of a powerful moment.
I may or may not have teared up during that. That was fantastic.
Yeah, because I mean, he was being so real and so relatable. You know, I really dug that. That was good. That was good stuff. Mm-hmm. So, Away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Okay. I am a health
Okay.
nut. Um, I enjoy working out, not just to keep my physique up, but it's just one of those things that like keeps me happy, keeps me calm. Outside of that, I'm also a gamer. I love playing video games. Um, I'm really getting into
Hmm.
RPGs now, and I don't know. I blame Baldur's Gate 3 now, but I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. So, so if there's anyone that needs a member of their party, I'm right here. And I love watching anime and like fighting movies.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You know, it's funny. When I was in high school, I tried desperately to get into D&D, and at the time, I don't know whether it was I just didn't have the right group of people to play with, but at the time it just didn't click with me. And I've always wondered what it would have been like to have been with a good group that, I wonder if I would have enjoyed it
Mhm.
more. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. There's so many moving parts, and if you don't have the right group, it it won't be as fleshed out as it
Right,
could be.
right. So, we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit into pop culture. And you were mentioning, anime and fighting movies and that kind of thing. I'm always looking for
Mhm.
recommendations. Are you watching or listening to anything cool right now?
I am currently watching because besides anime and stuff, I've been on a Star Wars kick
Mm-hmm.
right now. Currently watching Star Wars Rebels all the way through, and I'm gonna start the Ahsoka show afterwards. See how that's going. I don't know why, but that's been my addiction lately. But for anime, Fire Force is a good one. Solo Leveling, I just finished that season. Uh, my all-time favorite is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you watch that, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be happy.
Okay.
I can talk about that all day.
Awesome. Awesome. Speed round. Kazuchika Okada.
Can I say that
Yeah.
on here?
Yeah.
And
you know, it's
uh,
been fun seeing the comedic side of Okada. Because
oh
it's something
yeah,
you never saw over in Japan. I mean,
no,
so
never. And it's honest, he got me one time because he says it so
yeah,
much that one time he kind of like pump faked us, like he was gonna
yeah,
say it and then said something else
yep.
and left. Oh, this guy has been on a tear comedically and in the ring too. I can't wait for the
Oh yeah, I
Omega
know.
match. I'm
I
I'm
am too.
pumped.
Just anytime those two men share the ring, it's going to be magic. I mean, you know, uh, yeah,
That's what got me into New Japan as a kid.
yeah,
Those two. Oof.
absolutely.
But yeah, no, I'm
Oh no,
excited.
no doubt, man. That's going to be amazing. So,
Mhm.
outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most and why?
Uh, that's my son. His name is Nicholas. He inspires me the absolute most, like to be a better person, to actually work harder towards what I want. Um, yeah, even just taking him to a show or seeing him watching me wrestle was just something that's like, okay, I'm in the right place in
Yeah.
life. I'm doing something right. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that I don't know if his mother came and grabbed him, but I'm pretty sure he's still downstairs right now. So it's like,
Gotcha. Yeah, it's man, there is nothing like being a dad. I mean, it's I've got an almost 16-year-old son, and he'll be starting his junior year in high school coming up in the fall. He's a lacrosse player. And
nice.
man, I couldn't be happier, couldn't be prouder. How old is Nicholas?
He is 2, turning 3 in
Well,
October.
let me tell you this much, man. Soak it all in because the time flies. I mean, it's I can't believe I can't believe Zach is almost 16. I mean, it's crazy. So, like I said, don't blink because.
Yeah, I try not to.
So, what does your family think about all of this? What do they think about the fact that you're pursuing a potential career as a professional wrestler?
Let's see, like my dad, he kind of like he supports it, especially when he sees me come in wearing like my custom t-shirts or showing him my matches. Is like it lights him up. I feel like he wishes I got him a real job, but at this point, a real job can't sustain this. A real job can't make me as happy as this.
Right.
But everybody else is like the most supportive. A dad's always gonna have to make sure you got your head on right.
Yep, that's what dads do.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Chris.
So, so you said that you're originally from Philadelphia. What would you say is your favorite thing about Philly?
Besides seeing a bunch of like people coming in to shoot movies in the city, like have you seen the Creed movies? The second one was shot at Girard College, which was my elementary school. So there was like this big gym they were training in there during the movie. Cool. That's the gym we played basketball in, But besides that, the food, that's what does it for me. I haven't appreciated a cheesesteak as much as I have this year. This might have been like the 1 year I've had it like almost twice, 3 times a month. I'm still trying new places.
Gotcha. So, they say that the best wrestling personas are essentially usually yourself turned up to 11. So tell us about in-ring Houdini and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you.
Okay. So a brief explanation of what Houdini is to myself. Houdini is basically a more confident version of myself. He's a more outspoken version of myself. He calls himself the most efficient, And what that means is he's the most powerful. He's the most knowledgeable. He's the most prepared, His goal is to streamline professional wrestling. Cut out the fat and leave nothing but beautiful art,
No wasted motion.
No wasted motion at all. And sometimes I wish I was as confident or as outspoken as him sometimes. And sometimes I draw from it on my day-to-day, like especially at work. Because the job I'm in is pretty like tough. You get what I'm... Well, we'll get to that in a second. But he's just someone I like to channel every now and then because sometimes that confidence is needed.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts? Lay it on us. Tell us about the first one.
Okay, so the first match that I had was at our graduation show in September. It was myself and David McCall. Dave McCall, people know him from his tag team, The Rep. It was us two going against Nate Wallace, his tag team partner in The Rep, and a guy named Boss Young Legend. But yeah, so they're like, hey, we're just gonna tear it up, make sure you remember your cues, what you gotta do. I said, all right, bet. The match went perfectly for 1 minute. After 1 minute, I believe Boss Young Legend, he got his face grabbed in the right way to get picked up, and blood just streaming from his nose. And I'm like, what happened? Everybody's like, what's going on? But we're not going to stop, of course. So I come in, all that. They get some offense on me, and then Boss Young Legend pins me. I'm gonna call him BYL to make it shorter. BYL pins me, and this is why they teach you to turn your head when you're getting pinned, because after I kicked out, his elbow swung and swiped me in the nose. So now we're both bleeding profusely from our noses. And to this day, the mat is like covered in our blood. I'm not sure if they switched the canvas yet, but it still has our blood on it. It's a fun reminder.
No doubt. No doubt.
But yeah, it was great. I picked up the win off of a crucifix pin on Nate. I beat my coach.
Well,
so,
well played. Well played, sir. So we've heard about the first one. Now tell us, if you can narrow it down, tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
It's funny because I always advocate as a person to always do better in my next match. Every match I'm proud of, except for one. We'll get to that. But every match I've had, I've always been proud of. Even to this day, I'm having some of the best matches I've ever had. But to narrow it down to my very favorite, it was a match at a place called The Sanctuary in Hazleton, PA. I had a title match against their champion, JS Hawthorne. Hawthorne's a great guy. We were going to go out and kill it. We had basically however much time we wanted. And that match went like 25, 26 minutes. And as a young guy into the business, that kind of match is like you barely have enough time to figure out, like, how can I stretch this? I only have like 5 moves, you know? But we went out there and killed it. Like, that was like the best match I've been in. And it's one of those things that like wakes you up and makes you realize that this is something that's worth doing. If you understand what I'm saying. Like sometimes I get that reminder, like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. But this was like, I'm a singles wrestler. This was that singles match that I needed to believe in myself in my journey.
Yeah.
But shout out JS Hawthorne. He great guy. I love him to death.
So let's see here. Speed round. Nick Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Can't keep it out of my head.
Yep.
I'll never remember that name, brother.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's you know, I am enjoying the work he's doing in TNA right now, though. He is
Oh yeah,
you know,
sure.
it's been kind of nice to see him do something outside of the WWE umbrella. So
Yeah, he's having a
he
tear
is,
right
he
now.
is. So let's see here. So I know everybody has them, but what is your biggest in-ring pet peeve? You have a great laugh, by the way. It's very
Thank you.
genuine.
But let's see. My biggest pet peeve. When you're trained by Drew Gulak, trained by Tracy Williams, and so on
Yeah.
and so forth, you get hit. You know what I'm saying? My pet peeve is a guy that doesn't lay in their strikes. Because how am I supposed to sell if I can't feel it? How am I supposed to make you look good if I can't feel what you're doing?
Exactly. You know.
But I've had that frustration more times than I can count at this point. But just gotta give them one, and they'll understand.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think. Well, I'm not a wrestler, so I can't really speak from that perspective. But I mean, I think a lot of guys will hold back, thinking that they're air quotes being safe. But there's a fine line you've got to tread between working safe but working in a fashion that looks good, you know. So, you know, I know that there's essentially 2.5 ways of preparing for a match. You can either work it out with your opponent in the back, call it in the ring, or do a little bit of both. Do you have a preference?
Currently, I mean, if I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna do it. I'd say right now, it's like a 75 to 25 split between having it called and calling it in the ring. Reason why it's that small is because that's actually something that I struggle with, calling it in the ring. But what I'm doing now is just giving myself more opportunity to call it in the ring. That way I get more practice, and therefore I can have a whole match called. I think I did have a whole match called in the ring a few months ago, and it went fantastic. So I'm all for it.
Awesome. So in terms of your in-ring work and your promos, who or what would you say are some of your influences?
Influences, I probably just name my favorites, really. AJ Styles is like my number one. He is like a phenomenal. Well,
yeah.
But he's a fantastic wrestler. Everything he's done in his career, I believed. Even my favorite part of his career, when he was like solo AJ Styles. It's funny watching an interview he had with Chris Van Vliet, and he was saying like that was his favorite part. And funny enough, that was like the shortest amount of time that he did that. But that was fantastic, and I remember it fondly. Another guy, Shelton Benjamin, in the ring, that man is elite.
Oh, yeah.
There's hardly anyone better, and it's like he's part of the reason why I want to do this. If I ever have a day to meet him, I'm going to be all smiles, dude.
You're going to fanboy out?
I'm a fanboy out. It's happened a bit. Like, I work at a
Mhm.
gym. Like, it was a weekend. SmackDown was there, so it was like Friday. Byron Saxton came into my gym to
Oh, that's
train,
cool.
and I was like, huh. I was like, is that Byron? I had to go downstairs, look up his real name, and figure it out. And I was like, that's. So I started fanboying and talking to him about it, trying to get some kind of advice on my current journey. He kind of said like some normal stuff, but you know. But who else is there? When it comes to a lot of this is based on in-ring work. Roderick Strong is fantastic.
He's another underrated guy.
Completely. And especially the things he's been doing recently, completely. I don't like that he's kind of just behind in the Paragon, because him on the mic, especially these past few years, have been fantastic. Some of his best stuff. But hey, who am I? But I will take some backbreakers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add some more of those to my moveset. But last but not least, Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And to me, he was like the perfect blend of a great wrestler and a great promo. This guy was hilarious. This guy could talk his ass off. And honestly, like, he can make you laugh, and then he can like destroy you in the ring. It's like,
yep, and
that's what I want from myself.
And you know, any guy that can wrestle his way to a gold medal with a broken neck is that's a man. I mean,
yeah. It's love Kurt.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. You were talking about AJ Styles. He lives about 45 minutes from me. I mean, Gainesville, Georgia, where he's from. It's just right up the highway from here. About another 40 minutes. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
Absolutely. So do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that you just find yourself gravitating back to?
I have two.
Let's hear them.
One being Unbreakable 05, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels. The definition of total nonstop action, dog. And it's just, I can rave about it all day. It's like just the perfect blend of guys in the ring making magic, man. My second one I can't get too much into, but Kurt Angle did have a steel cage match in November of 2001.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my favorite matches, but you know, can't talk too much about it. Oh, man.
So, piggybacking on that question, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
Favorite promo? I could go back and say that one promo from Shawn Michaels in Canada where Bret Hart's music played, but he never came out. That was fantastic. I love one of those. For some reason, I love promos where it's like they play into your emotions a lot. Like when CM Punk beat Jeff Hardy and Jeff Hardy had to leave the company. He came out with the face paint and all that, and it was just like, man. But like outside of that, it's obviously the pipe bomb promo.
That one's hard to top.
That one's hard to top, even by himself.
Yeah. Yep.
but Punk is the guy.
For sure. I mean, he is definitely the cream of the crop on the mic. You know, one of my favorite promos of all time was Mick Foley's Kane Dewey promo when he was in ECW.
Oh yeah. How does that one go? I feel
that
like I know what you're talking about.
Somebody in the, you know, he at the time his son Dewey was a little boy, and somebody in the audience held up a sign that said Kane Dewey, and it just really bothered him. You know, the thought of somebody actually caning his little boy, and there was just such raw emotion in that promo. I mean, you know, take the time, get on YouTube and take another look at that promo, because man, it is real and it is raw emotion. So
I got you. I'm gonna look that up like right now. Like I have that on speed.
yeah, man, it's it is well worth your time to review that one again, because that's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Speed round. Drew McIntyre.
Ooh, I'm thinking about his theme song now. But Claymore.
Yep. And you know, he is somebody that, you know, getting released from WWE was probably the best thing that ever happened to him. I mean,
oh, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, because look at him now. I mean, you know,
it's one of those things like when Cody says he made himself undeniable.
So did Drew.
You can't deny Drew McIntyre at all.
Not a bit, no. So in your opinion, and this is excluding yourself, but in your opinion, who are the best male and female wrestlers in the world right now?
Okay. So obviously we got to throw in Cody and Drew. They're fantastic. They're doing great work, and they still got some time left. On to the other side of things. Hangman Page, Swerve, Will Ospreay. I'll stop there. I'll get like a good 2 or 3 out of each thing. Joe Hendry, Santana's fantastic. Obafemi's fantastic. Now for the indies, who's someone I can shout out in the indies? Matt Cardona has always been good. He's gonna keep doing his thing. Jacob Fatu.
Man, the sky is the limit with that man.
He's going far. And to think he's in his early 30s, far.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a young pup. I mean, So,
but Roman, head and shoulders above everyone. He has the in-ring perfect, on the microphone perfect. He'll make you feel everything. But yeah, I can go on and on. I just need to think of more indie wrestlers, actually.
So what about female wrestlers?
Female wrestlers? Well, we got Rhea. We got Roxanne Perez. We got Stephanie Vaquer. We got who else? Naomi's on like the best run of her career right now. I don't want to add her, but Becky Lynch. Let's see. Toni Storm. I think Toni Storm might be like the best wrestler, best women's wrestler in the
Yeah,
world right now.
I wouldn't argue that.
It's not even
No,
close.
I mean, both the in-ring and the character work is just top notch.
Yeah, it's just above everyone. It's crazy. But Mariah May, hopefully, well, Blake
Yeah.
Monroe now. Hopefully she does some good stuff.
You know, have you seen this guy? They're just starting to feature him some on NXT. Sean Legacy.
Sean Legacy is
Yes,
a
he
stud.
is. You know, he was actually one of my early guests on the show, and just an amazing human being as well. But I mean, that guy, you know, I am just so thrilled to see the success that he is having because he has worked his ass off. I mean, you know,
this might be the good luck charm. So who knows, in the future we might, I don't know.
You know, hopefully. So, you know, you were also mentioning Rhea Ripley. I have mentioned recently, you know, now that she is in the WWE system, I am dying to see Rhea Ripley and Jordynne Grace work a program together. I think those two women could tear the house down.
Yes. Dude, yes. That's going to be such a hard-hitting match.
That's going to be fun. And I think it's just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah. I can't wait for the call up.
Absolutely. So, and this can be present day or past. Who would be a dream opponent for you? Who would Houdini love to share a ring with?
So when it comes to me, I gotta stop reading the comments. When it comes to me, I'm all about challenging myself. So when it comes to dream matches, like if we're looking at past, Prime AJ and Prime Kurt Angle, those would be real tests. Current day, Lee Moriarty is underrated. Lee Moriarty is a talented guy. And I think he'd wrestle me in circles. But I'd love to give it a shot, you know. Will Ospreay, Swerve, great matches. And the obvious two, Drew Gulak and Tracy Williams. I'm still waiting on that match. It'll come. Yeah. And it's another guy, but we'll talk about him in a second.
So yeah, Al Bundy 81 apparently wants you in the ring.
Hey, what you want to do? We can have someone book it. Where you from, bud? I can go down to Georgia.
So, but yeah, man, you know, I'd like to see you work a match with Yuta, for that matter. I mean, you know, that would be fun. Yeah. You know, I love his seatbelt pinning combination. I don't know how anybody gets out of that. I mean,
I don't know either. He's so good.
He is. So, you know, to use a literary term, do you have, for lack of a better term, a foil, meaning kind of an arch rival, someone that you have amazing chemistry in the ring with, that you know if you're working that person, it's going to be a banger? Do you have somebody like that?
Since we're doing shout outs, I hate your guts, Tom LaRosa. He is my foil. We trained together. Whenever we were in the ring, we teared it up. It was always a great time. But right now we're in a predicament where we're always in different places doing different things. Or he's in a tag team. I'm a singles wrestler. I got to get a tag team partner now so we can work this out. or he needs to just like, do a singles match for the one time. But every time we get in the ring, it's always something great. And waiting on that day, we were actually talking about this like last month. But no, man, I'm gonna kick his ass.
Sounds like it'll be a banger.
For sure.
So, what is your favorite move? What is something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
So this is actually a two-parter. Okay. It's both the same move. It used to be called the mash driver. You would recognize it today as the pulverizer.
Okay. Yeah.
For the life of me, I wanted to do that move. For the life of me, I was practicing to get that move going. Like even my current finisher is like an inverted power slam. It starts the same way. I just wanted to get that extra pop for the DDT, but I can't do it now. It's Logan Paul's move. And it just boils my blood, man.
Yeah.
It pisses me off, brother. But a move that I wouldn't want to do or take besides that one. Speedball Mike Bailey's knee drop.
Yeah.
His knee drop. Nope. I think I'm good.
Yeah. Speaking from the perspective of a fan, a move that always gives me the shivers when I see it being set up for is the vertebreaker. Because that just looks like there are so many ways that could go catastrophically bad. I mean, you would have to be working with somebody that you really trust. Because, that's just, back in the Attitude Era, you saw it almost every match. But now it's a very rare thing. The last time I saw a vertebreaker was Cody Rhodes did it to somebody, and I can't remember even who he was working. But you don't see that move much anymore, and I think that's a good thing actually, because it's I see that being move. Set up for, and I just kind of just don't die.
Yes. I'll take one from Cody any day. Just don't bring homicide my way. I don't want to take that. I don't want to take a killer.
No doubt. So you've been doing this long enough now that I'm sure this applies to one degree or another. So I'll ask, what hurts right now?
Dude, my knees. And it's funny because a lot of the things I do, like now it's starting to incorporate my knees, but a good most of my wrestling had nothing to do with it. But I always leave the ring limping. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but my knees always kill me. But as of right now, that's about it. I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, that's good. What is the most significant injury that you have suffered either wrestling or training?
Okay. So right after I graduated, I don't know if it was in like a normal match or something. No, it was in a training match or a drill or something. I took a normal textbook body slam. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was how I landed. But I definitely had crazy rib pain. To this day, I don't know if it was fractured, dislocated, something. I did not check.
Yeah.
But it was hard to sleep. It was hard to eat, laugh, talk, walk around. I had to go to work the next day, and I was a security supervisor at the time. So that all that is walking and talking. So, hey, just another day.
Oh yeah.
You know? But it got to a point where it calmed down. And then the same thing happened. A body slam just knocked it out of place again. And I was like, wow, all right. So it stumped me for a good few months. And I ended up going to a chiropractor, not a real doctor, guys. But
well, they're real doctors. They're just not MDs.
Doctors,
I mean,
they're not the ones that'll tell me to stop. But no, they popped that thing, and I've been good ever since.
Yeah, rib pain is the worst, man. Several years ago, for a number of years, I used to train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I was sparring with a guy one day, and he, it was just one of these freak things. He posted off my chest to try to armbar me, and when he posted off, we both heard and I felt something go crunch. And so, we immediately stopped. But it turned out that when he did that, he had actually popped a rib head out of place. And like you, I ended up having to go to a chiropractor and get it adjusted back in.
Yeah.
And and I had to basically do light training for about 4 weeks. But I mean, it ended up being fine. But I mean, when you hear something go crunch, it's never a good feeling.
It's not good. Yeah.
So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
So, I wish it wasn't the case, but as of right now, it is the most important thing in wrestling in general, not just indie, even in the WWE. Social media presence is what draws the fans in, because not everyone's gonna see you at that one bar show that you did, or no one's always gonna see you work at MLW this week. Not everyone knows who you are, so building a fan base is definitely major these days. And social media, being able to post your matches. I have stuff on YouTube that people can watch. I'm always trying to be consistent with my posting on Instagram and stuff. I need to get Twitter. I need to get Twitter back in order, because that's one of the hardest things to me social media wise. But social media is literally the most important thing in this era. That's why we call it the social media era now. It's what can you do?
Exactly. Speed round. Kevin Owens.
Ooh, pop a power bomb, dude. That's awesome.
Yep. Man, I hope he's going to have a good comeback from the neck issues he's got going on right now, because
it didn't feel real. It didn't feel real at all when he said it. I thought it was a work. I miss him.
Man, I do too. And necks are such a tricky thing, and it's really person to person and situation to situation as to how somebody's going to recover from those types of things. So I'm hoping all the best for Kevin, man, because he's an amazing talent.
Yeah, he is.
So Knowing everything that you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I'd say it's all worth it, honestly. All the struggle, stress, turmoil, all of it was to put you in this position. I sometimes said all the time, like, I wish I started when I was 18. I started when I was 23. I wish I started when I was younger. But at the same time, I'm in like the best position. Like, wrestling is in the best position these last 2 years than it has been ever, in the last like 2 decades. It's like, it's never been this good to be an indie wrestler right
Yeah.
now, with the ID contracts and AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Even like, if you see AEW, like, they're pulling guys left and right.
Yep.
Um, even spots for Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor's doing some good stuff. TNA is on the map again.
I know.
What?
I know. You know, I've been a fan of this stuff, varying levels of fandom at different points in my life, but I've been a fan since I was around 11 and I'm almost 56. So,
Yeah.
and following the business for 40 plus years, I've got to say, right now is actually one of the most exciting times to be a fan because there is just so much content out there. It's hard to find
Yeah.
time to consume it all. There's only so many hours in the week that you can watch wrestling.
Tell me about it.
So, So,
Oh,
do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
so it's not so much before I walk out. It's throughout my
Okay.
entrance. My signature pose is more or less like, it starts with like a double point up and then it comes down. But it's just a payment of respect to my friends. That
Uh-oh. Looks like you froze. You there? Hey,
we said, hey, all right,
yeah, we're good now. Anyway,
but
you were saying the point up and
yeah, it's paying respect to the friends I lost on this journey. Um, I like to use it as a way to pay not only tribute, but to just take them along on this journey with me. Um, but yeah, that's what I do.
absolutely.
Hmm.
So, just a quick rundown. What all do you carry in your gear bag? Do you have anything interesting or unusual that you tote around?
Okay, so I have my trunks, multiple pairs, um, my knee pads, my boots. I need to replace those soon. Um, Multicolored wrist tapes. I have whites, blacks. I'm getting some grays and gold soon. Uh, what else is in there? I have my spray deodorant, because you never know if anyone else needs some deodorant.
Yeah.
I keep lotion with me, my mouth guard, um, cologne.
You got to
What
smell good.
Yep, nail clippers. You know. uh, what's the strangest thing I carry with me? No, I think it's
Looks like we lost you again. I presume you'll be back. He'll be back. While we are waiting for his return, I'll go ahead and tell you what's coming. Here we go. He is back.
There we go. Why does it keep happening? I don't know, but I don't think I have anything weird though that would be in there. It's all pretty tame.
Gotcha. Well, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. And so my previous guest was a wrestler actually based here in Atlanta by the name of Spectre.
Okay.
And the question that he posed is, what is your favorite venue to wrestle in that you have wrestled in?
I'd say my favorite venue that I wrestled in, this is more or less pretty personal to me because it was in South Street in Philly. During WrestleMania weekend when it was in Philly, they basically had an entire block party, like the entire South Street was basically closed off, and it was filled with like 2,000 people watching us wrestle, and I was in a battle royal for that.
Oh, that's cool.
It's something I'll remember for like ever. But yeah, that's mine.
Very cool. So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question you would like to ask to the next guest?
Yes.
Okay.
Why isn't your stock in Houdini? But anyway, why am I not your favorite wrestler? But seriously, why do you do it? Why do you wrestle? What is the reason why you go out there every match and put on the best possible show?
So basically, what is your why?
Exactly.
Yeah. So how would you answer that?
I just want to leave wrestling better than how I came in. I want to put, if the opportunity presents themselves and I end up going elsewhere, I want to leave it in the hands of people that actually care about this, not people that just do it for hobbies or do it for jokes. I want to put it in the hands of serious competitors, people that can pass it on to people that take it just as serious.
Gotcha. I like that. I like that a lot.
Because personally, I think when AEW first started, it left a lot of gaps in the indies.
Yeah.
Because they took the best talent.
Yeah.
And it only made it worse with COVID.
Yeah.
So we lost a lot. Just trying to get that back.
Absolutely. So we're getting toward the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
Yeah, so the end of this month, actually, on the 28th, I'm going to be in Florida, wrestling for UFW, Ultimate Florida Wrestling. Don't know to what capacity I'm wrestling in, but if you're ever in the area, stop by. I'd love to talk more or talk to anyone.
What part of Florida is that?
That, I believe, is in Tampa. Let me see.
Okay.
Because sometimes I get the addresses and don't be knowing what's going on. But yeah, that's my upcoming match. But I'm going to have a few things happening. I'm going to be in PA at the end of next month. I might go to Florida again. Michigan is always on. Michigan's always on the clock with me. I'm going to be there in August. But Yeah, PA, New Jersey. That's where I'll be at. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, as far as what we've got coming up here at the Throwdown, this Friday, interestingly enough, Friday the 13th, um, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I've got episode 128 with an Orlando, Florida based pro wrestler by the name of Max Danziger. And the interesting thing about Max is he is also the drummer for the rock band Set It Off.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an indie wrestler and rock drummer.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm definitely excited to have the chance to kind of mix it up with him and find out about all that, because wrestling and music are actually my two main passions in life. I'm a hobbyist musician. I'm a bass player.
See, now I need lessons. I always wanted to learn bass. I used to be a drummer myself.
Really?
But I definitely would take lessons.
Gotcha.
Let me know.
And then Tuesday the 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 129 with a guy who is a pro wrestler, a card shark, and a magician. The wild card Ace Diamond.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
a sweet name.
And then Wednesday the 18th at 7 p.m., I've got episode 130 with a referee by the name of Nick Mitchell. So
Nick Mitchell. Okay.
So anyway, and I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Next Thursday, the 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 131 with C.W. Anderson, one of the ECW originals.
Oh.
So I'm definitely excited to have him on and get to pick his brain. Because
awesome.
He's got some stories, I'm sure.
Yeah, I might have to tune in for that one. Yeah.
But anyway, I want to thank you for your time, man. This has been a complete blast. Nerding out about this stuff with like-minded people is just the best thing in the world, man.
And I can't thank you enough for this. I appreciate every moment.
Well, thank you. And before we wrap this all up, do you have any final words for the audience?
Hey, everyone. Follow me on Pure Houdini, anywhere you can find social media. It's no different. And if you want to see me wrestle on YouTube, look up Houdini, Brandon Houdini. I got like 11 matches up there, and I'm looking forward to putting much more. Just trying to build on a fan base, build on everything I got going on, have people keep up with me. And I might do the YouTube thing for fun. So you guys got to give me ideas. We can see.
Absolutely.
But
oh yeah, man. And for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, definitely spread the word. And, I've got a link tree in my Instagram bio, and that's got all of my various socials. And, go on to those and do the like, comment, share, and subscribe. And in the meantime, until Friday night, be good to each other, love each other, and let's keep throwing down.